Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. We have got a quick, simple, and delicious meal tonight. Truthfully, you won't believe how quick this is. I've got my water boiling. I'm going to drop down 8 ounces of a wide egg noodle. That's only going to take 5 minutes, and we'll have this just about ready to go in the oven in 5 minutes. So let me set my timer, because we've talked about that. I can get lost in time. Okay, this is sour cream noodle bake. That's an old recipe. I bet y'all have all kinds of recipes like that in your family that you have used. Let me show you this one I'm working from tonight. This is my penmanship. And I want to guess it was 5th or 6th grade. That's how long ago that's been. And that was a long time ago. Why I wrote that out, I don't know. And how I ended up with it, again, I'm not really 100% sure. But I have made this lots of times. It's very mild. And all we're going to do while that pasta is cooking, let me give it a quick stir to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. Salted my water just a little bit. 5 minutes, that'll be done. Plus it's going in the oven. In this pot, I have a pound of ground beef that I have already browned. I chopped it up really good with our little meat chopper. Got it broken up really good. I went ahead with this because I needed to drain it, because this is 80-20. It's going to be a little bit fatty. So anyway, that's where we're at with that. What we're going to add here is a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. That's going to be what's going to give it the really good flavor. It kind of tastes like a baked pasta almost, which I guess that's really what it is. But it's also going to have the sour cream in it. Into this, we've got a little bit of seasoning, and I've gone ahead and measured that out for you. Let me put my glasses on so I can make sure I tell you what it is. Oh, I just got cheese on my face. We have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. That's the only seasoning that we're going to put in. And what we're going to do with this is, while that pasta cooks, we're going to let this kind of meld together, warm up, and you can see everything's cooked. So when we put it together, it's only going to take the time it takes to melt down that cheese that we're going to put on top. Okay, let me grab this. What we're going to do now, I'm going to get the sauce off my glasses and my head. Okay, let me get my bowl here that we're going to mix our cheeses in, because we are going to layer this. Let me cut up my scallions. The scallions are going in the cheese mixture, and it's, like I said, it's super simple. You know, I really think this is maybe where the hamburger helper meals came from, because that's all this is. You're helping Hamburger make a meal, and the only thing that you didn't do was buy it in a box. You actually just made a list, went to the store, brought it home, and put it together yourself. You know, you can do that. You saw we didn't use a lot of salt. You can kind of limit your salt and different things with it. Okay, into this bowl we're going to put, it calls for a cup of green onions, or scallions, whatever you call them. We also add to this a 1 1/4 cups of cottage cheese, which I measured that out for us because everybody can measure. You know, I'm not teaching people to cook. We're just cooking together. And I think that's what we're doing too, is giving each other suggestions on what might be easy to fix. We all get kind of stuck in our ways of what we fix. So, and that's what I've heard. A lot of girls have told me, it's just kind of giving me an idea of something else I can cook. And that makes me feel good. Because I'm not teaching you to cook, we're just cooking together. Let me get this little one. And just a 1/2 cup of sour cream. Mix that together, and this is just going to be one layer. So let's get that all mixed up. I've reserved a little bit of onion for the top, because that always looks pretty if you can end it with a little bit of something green. Okay, that is ready. We're just waiting for everything else to come together. We're going to top it with It calls for a sharp cheddar cheese, which I think this really needs it because your flavors are really mild, and it just needs about a cup. And if you don't have one of these little nifty cheese graters, this one is wonderful because it's got different cuts on different sides. If you wanted to shred carrots or shred potatoes, just look for something like that. But you probably already have one, which is awesome. All right, we're getting our cheese grated. Looks like that should be plenty. I always err on the side of too much cheese, but cheese is delicious. All right, let me make us some room here. I think what I'll do is put these green onions right here, move this out of the way, and put my casserole dish here. Give me one quick second. All right, this is what we're going to work with. Everything looks to be done. See how nice this is? Nice and smooth, creamy. Those flavors will have all melded together. All right, let me kick Marley out of the way here under my feet. I'm going to just drain that here. And let me see how I can do this best. We just need to put a layer of the cheese. Let me turn that off. Well, now I've turned off my oven. Just one quick second. Don't you love it when your appliances are smarter than you? It's wanting me to set the timer. Well, how fun is that? Okay, bake 350. That helps me tell you right there. It's preheated to 350. I'm going to, let me get the spider, that'll help me out. Because I need to hang on to this so it doesn't get away from me. This was 8 ounces of egg noodles, which you just have to kind of watch. Just like buying hot dogs and buns. It comes in a 12-ounce package. So what I did tonight was I just had 2 packages that I had taken out 8 ounces, put it together. Now we're going to put a layer of the meat mixture. You know what? Yes. Let's do it this way and then I'll show you. Fun little omitted step, but we'll fix it on the next fry here. You really kind of put your noodles in your cheese. But this is showing you too. I promise you it's going to taste just as good. But we will mix those noodles that are left in here. I'll show you what it's supposed to be like, but I promise it's not going to make any difference. Let me get the rest of that and I'll show you. This is what it's supposed to be. You put those noodles in the cheese mixture. There we go. That's looking right. Just helps them spread out a little bit more. But all the ingredients are all there together. This is a thing to consider. No telling how many times I've made this. There's no real bad mistakes when you're cooking. Because as long as you get it all put together and you put a delicious meal on the table, it's not going to matter. Now see how nice that is? This is the way my recipe says to do it. Mix your cottage cheese mixture with your noodles. Now that's our next layer. That's the first layer and the middle layer. And then we're going to top it with the rest of that meat and our cheese and this little bit of scallions that we have. It's not overwhelming on any one thing. There's not tons of meat, tons of noodles. It evens out really, really well, and I think that's what makes it taste so good and keeps it so mild. But you know, if you're making it with kids, omit the onions, it's not going to make any difference. It's kind of a trial and error thing anyway, isn't it, when we're cooking dinner? Sometimes you forget to mix your stuff together. It happens. Take our sharp cheddar cheese, put that on top. I'm going to put the little bit of scallions that I've saved just for a little decoration up on top. I'll not worry about the ones I poured all over the counter. But doesn't that look good? Okay, We are going to take 20 minutes to stick this in a 350-degree oven, and when you come back, you will look at it and think that looks fabulous, and it will be. So I'll see you in just a few minutes. Did you know we've only been apart for 20 minutes? That's how long it took for this to cook, 20 minutes. We got a timer about to go off. You will look at it and think, that looks fabulous, and it is fabulous. Once I get it out, I'll go over the recipe with you. Oh my heavens, it smells fabulous. Doesn't that look delicious? And again, if you're dealing with little kids, eliminate the onions if they don't like it. It's very mild in flavor. So let me go over the recipe with you just one more time because it's so easy you're not going to believe it. It is a hamburger helper. That's all we've done is help the hamburger make a meal. We used an 8-ounce package of egg noodles. They only cook for 5 minutes. And we ground our beef a pound. We did that at the same time, so it was just moving right along. Seasoned the meat with a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. And that was it. With 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce that made the meat mixture. Then we took and mixed together 1.25 cups of cottage cheese, and I was going to tell you, this for some reason says creamed cottage cheese. Who knows what that was? 1/2 cup of sour cream, and then we had 1 cup of chopped green onions. So all we did was cook all that together. What you're supposed to do, mix your noodles and your cheese and the sour cream and onions all together. But I'll tell you this too, I have seen this recipe done where everything's just mixed together, which really that's what it is right now. So you're not going to go wrong. Even though we had a little hiccup, it's going to be delicious. No one will know, so don't tell anybody. And once you put it all together, layer it, noodles with cheese, meat, noodles with cheese, meat, top it with the, I use a sharp cheddar. This is just so mild that I think that sharp cheddar just adds a little something extra. And just put a few of the extra green onions on top. This is what we have for dinner. And truthfully, I bet this didn't cost $5 to make. Very economical, and look, it made a whole casserole dish. So I hope you'll try it, and I hope you'll let me know, because I love knowing that you've made the meals. I've had lots of people send me pictures and let me know how they loved it. That makes me feel good, because we're just all cooking together, filling a void. Love the pandemic, but we're doing good with it. So enjoy your dinner tonight, and I hope that you'll try sour cream noodle bake and let me know. Have a great night.